Hello people, my name is Vakiria Jashanti and welcome to my channel. Today is going to be something new. Actually, I have been going on this journey. I have been trying to, for one, seek a deeper relationship with God, and for two, understand who it is I'm supposed to become, who it is that God wants me to become, where my purpose lies in this world. And most definitely, I just want to understand my creativity, grow creatively. So I feel like not only did I see the results from other people, but I just feel like this is the most perfect book. And honestly, I'm so grateful that I have found this. Obviously, I found it through Doji, and I didn't find it after she wanted to grab me. I actually found it way before then, but I watched some of her videos. I don't know. That's not besides the point. But I did complete week 1, and I just wanted to break down what all I got from this. So if you're here for any of that, we love to stay and listen to me, and not just me talk about me. I just really wanted to share some of the knowledge that I've learned and share some of the tools that I have applied to my everyday life and everything. So let's get into it. I did have this book that I took notes on. I did my morning pages on, and I'll get a little bit into what each of it is. So, and it's so funny because this is the same book that I used when I took my Valentine's Day pictures. It was like a whatever theme. So starting off, let me explain what this book is actually. So it's the Artist Way book, right? It says a spiritual path to higher creativity, and that is exactly what it is, because I'm not gonna lie, I just started. Like I said, this is the first week, and they was having me answering questions that I truly didn't want to answer, digging up things that I truly didn't want to dig up. But if you're going to be committed, you have to be committed. So I'm just going to read off a little bit. And obviously I wrote down this little contract. I wrote down basically just a little note to myself. So I said, today I start a journey, one that I am scared of, but I must tackle. I must do this whether it's alone, with other people, or not. I have to chase my dreams. I have to be free. I have to be me. I want this so bad. I am willing to work really hard, have a daily routine, get in the habit and do this. Be disciplined, be consistent, be me. On this journey, I expect to find authenticity, originality, and overall good quality. It's not easy because I wasn't born with this advantage that would make it so, but I will create them myself. I believe that God make no mistakes, and although it is tough, I'll be okay. I love you, sincerely. And then I scratched it and I said, evolved Vakiria. But yeah, that was just a little love note that I said to myself. And honestly, also, I was doing it with this book. You obviously do it week by week. At first I was doing it like day 1, day 2, day 3, but I realized I was reading the books a little, reading the chapter pages, whatever, a little faster than usual. So I just was like, okay, let me just, just start taking notes. So within the notes that I've taken, I did a few quotes. A few of my favorite quotes is, I myself do nothing. The Holy Spirit accomplish all things through me. That is by William Blake. The position of the artist is humble. He is essentially a channel, by Piet Mondrian. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And then it is the creative potential itself in human beings that is the image of God. Mary Daly. So with this book, it started off with 3 tools that they want you to utilize. One of them being obviously reading, and then another one being morning pages, and another one being artist dates. Now with reading, they want you to almost do affirmations, and within those affirmations you have to write down obviously the affirmations itself 10 times. And if you have these so-called outbursts while you're doing the affirmations, you write down these outbursts, because how our brain is wired to really focus on the negative things. And what we're doing is we're doing reverse psychology. So you're going to write down the positive things, and when those negative things appear in your head, you stop, you write down the negative thing, you address those negative things, and once you address them, you write down the reverse of the negative. So for an example, I think I actually did an example. It says, sorry, I just got a lot. So one would be, yeah, you think you're really smart. Okay, if that pops up or anything similar that's negative pop up in your brain, you're gonna, I am very smart, I am very brilliant, I am prolific, and you just write that down until you get that dirty negative affirmation, not even affirmation, dirty negative thought out of your brain. And I'm not saying this magic is not gonna like work, you know, immediately, but if you keep going, you can process, you can, you know, get your brain to start thinking more positively like that. So that was one of the affirmation ways that was being taught in the book. The second, morning pages. I have to say these morning pages really do work. This is just the first week. Now granted, I only was able to do 6 days of morning pages out of the 7 days of a week, because one morning I was really going through it. I did get my menstrual cycle this week, so I was really feeling the emotions of them, and I was just like, not gonna lie, I could not focus. So yeah, I'm just happy that I was able to do that. And within the morning pages, you do 3 pages to be exact. You do like full of brain rot. Basically, you write down whatever is on your brain or whatever is on your mind. You don't have anything in your mind, just say it on the paper. I don't have anything on my mind, and just write down a whole bunch of like whatever blah blah blahs, as long as you get that out. And that helped me a lot. I feel like it kind of helps with your clarity, you know, in a sense, because what I mean to tell you, I wake up with this book on my, like, I literally have it under my pillow and a pencil right beside it, or a pen right beside it, because I'm like, when I wake up, the first thing I gotta do is write. Like, it's on my brain, like I'm dedicated to do it. I know I missed that one day, but it has, yeah, it's become a part of my morning. Instead of waking up on my phone like I used to, I'm going to wake up with the book, writing, because that's what I do. I like to write anyway. So yeah, let's see, let's get into some of these basic principles that were talked about in the book. They gave us 10, one of them being, number 1, pure creativity is energy. There is, number 2, there is a creative force in all of life. Number 3, when you open yourself to creativity, you open yourself to the creator, God. And 4, we ourselves are creators and we are meant to be creative. 5, creativity is God's gift to us, using it as a gift back to God. Using it is a gift back to God, I'm sorry. Number 6, opening creativity equals opening to God. Number 7, refusing creativity is self-will. Number 8, as we open the creative channel, many charges are to be expected. Number 9, open up to greater and greater creativity. Number 10, as we move towards dreams, we move towards winning. My handwriting. But yeah, so these are just some of my pages that I've written. then the artist date. The third tool was the artist date. I actually went to the museum. It was lovely. I'm not gonna lie, it was what I needed at that moment, that time, that day. I needed it because, like I said, I was on my cycle. So many emotions, so many emotions. I literally feel like I'm going crazy like whenever I am on it, and I know it's science, like it's, you know, it's a thing. But anyway, I declare, I went to the Atlanta Museum, and that's another thing. Oh my god, y'all, so I'm actually in Georgia right now. I've moved here for the summer because I felt like I needed to open myself to a different environment in order for me to grow, in order for me to flourish in the way that I need to, so I can be strong enough to be in environments that are weak. And just, I know God helps me, and I know I have God, and I know I am always being heavily protected, but I just needed that self comfort, I guess. I hope that don't sound bad, but I needed that, and that's why I went there, and it was really lovely. I wore a really pretty outfit. Like, I love putting on clothes, as y'all, like, I think I talked about this before, but yeah, I did that. And I got a little inspo, you know, I got a little some. I love colorful stuff, so like that. Anyways, another lesson that I learned from here is the filling the well, stocking the pond. So with this saying, I'm gonna just read all that I took notes from. It started off as saying art is an image system, meaning in order to create, we do so from our inner well. We pay attention or focus on that great plan, that grand ideas, those broad strokes, but it is really the attention of details that stays with us. That singular image becomes art. So, one quote that I've gotten from this particular chapter, it was, every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once they grow up. And that's so true. And that itself was by Pablo Picasso. So I love that. I really, really do love that, because I feel like as we get older, we're so focused on being an adult that we tend to lose that inner child. And what I've been doing, I've always been wanting to stay focused on those dreams that I had as a child, and those dreams that still makes me happy today, and I want to live that. I find myself, as I'm getting older, fighting for what I want to do with my life, because this is my life and I have to be happy. But then again, I want to make sure it aligns with my purpose as well. So my prayer is to make sure I am doing what I am supposed to do and what feels good to me, and I stay on track. And that's that. So filling the well could be as simple as listening to great music, dancing bare feet, or being outside recharging. That's my type of carrying on. That's my type of carrying on. Okay. So some of the keynotes that I took was follow your sense of mystery, change your route, sight leads to insight. Art is a brain pursuit. It is reached through rhythm, aka music. Music is one of my love languages. I say this all the time. If any of my friends was to get on here and do a little testimony of me, they would always say that I'm always singing, dancing, and stuff like that. Like, I'm always like just whatever, because I just feel like music is in my veins. Like, I don't know, my family is very musically inclined, and like it's just what I know, you know. That's that. So another little theory that I thought was so cute, but I think I'm gonna try that out. I haven't done it yet though. It's called the shower theory. That means the best ideas come from when you're in the shower, when you're in the bathroom, you know, places like that. So it's supposed to be like the like yes words that get your brain turning to doing things. So I don't know, I guess when you do things that start with the S, basically it's what the gets the brain turning. So be on the lookout. Try that theory. I don't know. Another one, encounter life experiences, not ignore them. To acknowledge a block and dismantle, feel a will by doing the previous acts. So what I said about like listening to music, dance bare feet, take 5 minutes to just be free, you know, to do something outside your norm, or to do something towards your norm but in a different way. So that is how you dismantle, and that's how you feel your will. Another lesson that was brought was about shadow artists. Now I thought this was an interesting yet so real, so true lesson, because I think a lot of people struggle with it, and I don't want to be one of those people. So shadow artists are people who are artists, but because of the lack of support they had growing up, their gifts often are shadowed, and they end up working / being second-handed to their gifts. So they often align themselves with people who are first-hand artists. Let me say that again. Shadow artists are people who do not use their gifts, but because they love their gift, they often align themselves with people who are aligned with their gifts. So they end up being second-handed, not first-handed, not doing it themselves. They end up being second-handed. So in order to move from the shadows, we must take ourselves seriously. You got to take yourself seriously. If you don't take yourself seriously, who else gonna take you serious? That's just the plain and simple way, you know. Like I don't know what to tell you. I'm learning it. I had to learn it, and yeah, it's just, I mean, I feel like it's common sense, but what they say, common sense ain't so common. Yeah, I had to learn it myself. I still, you know. Anyways, protect the artist child within. That's one of my favorite. Y'all know, like I just said how I just always care for what my little girl, the self in me, you know, how she would feel. So all about that. Go gentle and slow for creative blocks, healing old wounds, not creating new ones. Give yourself permission to be a beginner. Core negatives and attacking them. So you have to give yourself permission to be a beginner. Everybody do not start off perfect. They do not start perfect. They do not start off perfect. Like, I don't care how social media is trying to make everything seem so luxurious, so perfect, so whatever, so whatever. Babes, everything does not start off perfect. Like, if so, then no one would grow. Like, no one would have, like, you know, I just don't know. And go gentle and slow for creative blocks. So whenever you're feeling a little block creatively, I'm not gonna lie, I am, because I haven't, well, I am, but I'm not, because I have been constantly writing. I've been writing some good stuff, y'all. I don't want to whatever, but I've been writing, but I have not picked up a paintbrush since probably like a year and a half. Like, it's probably been 2 years, I'm not gonna lie. The last time I did something when I painted the Beyonce portrait, and if you haven't seen that, it's on my Instagram. It's on my creative art Instagram. But yeah. And last but not least, that is a few things that I also written down. Besides the affirmations, morning pages, lessons, all that. They had me write down a few of my major influences, 5 to be exact, of my life. I had to think of 5 people in different stages of my life and how they impacted it negatively, how they impacted it positively, and then I had to give a story for each negative and positive. And I'm not gonna lie, if it kind of hurted me digging up a negative influence, and then I had to write a letter for each as well. So for the negative one, I had to write a letter in my defense, as if I'm another person writing for defending me. And then for the positive one, I had to write a letter thanking the influence, and thanking the person for gracing me with whatever they did or whatever they said or whatever how they made a positive influence in my life. I really enjoyed writing it. The negative one, not so, but I had to, because it was a wound that I didn't like to touch, I didn't like to look at, I didn't like to acknowledge. So yeah, those were dead. And then I also had to write down 5 leads. 5 leads or 5 careers slash jobs slash hobbies or whatever you would do if you're not doing what you're doing right now. And I would share this. I only wrote down 4, but I said an art teacher, a herbalist, a sculptor, and a singer. Yeah, I wrote down those, and I think all of them are possible, to be honest. I have, with God's blessing, I have many years ahead of me. I'm only 22 years old, so we shall see. I'm just so excited for this journey, regardless of what comes of it. And I know this ain't gonna be easy. Like I said, writing down that little negative influence, it really made me feel things, but this is the purpose. The purpose is to feel things. The purpose is to be dig so deep, where I dig all of that stuff out and just put it into my art. I eat, breathe, sleep art, creativity, expression, and I just pray to God that I am doing the right thing and that everything works out the way it's supposed to be. I cannot focus on what people of this earth, I cannot focus on what people think. You cannot focus on what people think. You cannot. You will drive yourself crazy if you allow them to do that to you. So we can't do this. They're gonna call you all whatever, but one day it'll make sense. And regardless of however someone feels, I always love people. I always love them, and I always have love for them. I always, whatever. I feel bad for a lot of times, because a lot of times people spread hate. A lot of times people do things. They say bad things. They say, whatever. They judge you. They do this. They do that. Because they are ignorant. I'm saying, I'm so weak the way I'm pronouncing. But yes, y'all, that is the end of that for week 1, the artist way. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I am probably just going to post this video just like this. I don't want to do no cuts. I want to give it to y'all real, raw, and authentic. This is me. This is me. This is real. I am exactly how I'm supposed to be now. Gonna live the life. Okay, anyways, yeah, I hope you watched all of this. Thank you, and yeah.